Hello, everyone. I would like to call to order today's meeting. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? Sir Bunny and Lakshmi.
Moved by Councillor Bernier, seconded by Councillor Jiguer, that the agenda for the regular meeting of June 24th, 2024 be approved as printed.
The two, all in favor? All in favor? Thank you. Number two, approval of agenda. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? Oh, we just approved it. Sorry. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof? I see none. Okay, for adoption of meetings for regular meeting, May 27th. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? Councillor Stefani.
Brian, you get the first mover? Moved by Councillor LeFave, seconded by Councillor Bernier, that the following minutes are hereby adopted. Regular meeting, May 27th, 2024, 6:30 PM.
All in favor? Thank you. Got it. So we have a public hearing. First for Daniel Palafa. Amendment to the zoning bylaw.
We'll just need a mover.
Can we have a mover and seconder?
Moved by Councillor Tremblay, seconded by Councillor Bernier, that council opens the public hearing to hear comments respecting the following. Dan Belfoy, amendment to the zoning bylaw, file number 0224. Robert and Christine Hurry, amendment to the zoning bylaw, file number 0324.
All in favor? The purpose of the public hearing is to receive comments on two applicants for an amendment to the zoning bylaw. If a person or public body files an appeal of the decision of council with respect to the proposed amendment and does not make written submission to the town of Refa Falls before it gives or refuses to give provisional consent, the Ontario Land Tribunal may dismiss the appeal.
Notice of the proposed zoning changes were advertised in public places and in the local newspaper. Notices were also mailed to owners of property located within a specific radius to the subject property. The first application for an amendment to the zoning bylaw was submitted by Daniel Belfoy, file number 0224, to rezone the following parcel, 562 D'Iberville Avenue, Plan M3T PT, Lot 34 BGRP, 6R 6210, Parts 2, 4, 5, PCL 8872 NEC, from commercial general to residential urban second density to allow for a single home dwelling.
All right, do we have any retentions?
No, we do not.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to make a comment? Please state your hand. If anyone present wishes to be notified in writing of the decisions, you must make a written request to the clerk and reader.
The second application for an amendment to the zoning bylaw was submitted by Robert and Christine Hurry, file number 0324, to rezone the following parcel, Reese Road, Clerg, concession for PT Lot 7, RP 6R 8525 Part 2, from rural to rural residential to allow for a residential home dwelling.
Do we have any written submissions?
No, we do not.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to make a comment? If so, please raise your hand. See none. If anyone present wishes to be notified in writing of the decisions, you must make a written request to the clerk, Maureen Reader.
There is a hand up.
So there is a hand up for Rob. Yes, Rob?
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just not really familiar with what you said. Is that approved, that change?
Which change?
So
we are in
there-
the public hearing.
Yeah, there will be a bylaw further on in the meeting, and if the bylaw is approved by council and adopted, then that starts the process of a 20-day appeal period.
Okay,
This is the amendment.
yeah, okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else? If anyone present wishes to be notified in writing of the decisions, you must make a written request. The clerk, Maureen Reader. You have to close the public hearing.
We'll just need to move right in a second.
To close it?
Yes.
Okay, so to close the public hearing, can we have a mover and seconder? So Tremblay and Councillor Bernier.
Moved by Councillor Tremblay, seconded by Councillor Bernier, that council hereby closes the public hearing portion of the meeting.
All in favor? Thank you. Delegations and presentations nil, unfinished businesses nil. Notice of motion nil, but the reports, departmental reports are nil. In 9B, information reports, Director of Recreational Services. Can we have a mover and seconder, Councillor Bernier, Councillor Jiguer?
Moved by Councillor Bernier, seconded by Councillor Jiguer, that the following report is received as information, Director of Recreational Services.
All in favor?
Congratulations. Thank you.
Moving on next, 9C, issue reports, appointment to the Garden of North Committee. Garden Town of North Committee. Mover and seconder, Councillor Bernier, Councillor Lefebvre.
Moved by Councillor Bernier, seconded by Councillor Lefebvre, that council hereby appoints Jamaica Jiguer to the Garden Town of the North Committee.
All in favor? Next is interest to purchase property. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Charlevoix and vote five.
Moved by Councillor Charlevoix, seconded by Councillor Lefebvre, that council authorize staff to proceed with the sale of Lot 4 PCL 113 SEC on Driftwood Lane in Corquist for the offered price of $4,000.
Monty, if I'm not mistaken, is it Porpoise or Monty?
I believe it's Corquist. No?
It's Monty. Yes.
Oh, my correction, sorry.
No.
All in favor? Is there any questions?
Any questions on this? We've had a discussion about this one in the past.
Go ahead.
No, just, I mean, I think the original bid was $1,500 on it or something, and now it's been reevaluated, obviously, at $4,000, and he's offering the $4,000, so we can't ask him for more, that's for sure, and I know that the property is not the best. It's a good sized property, but he's gonna build a nice big garage and we can get more taxes out of it, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. C3, adoption of the town of Iraquois asset management plan. Mover and seconder, Councillor Charlevoix, Councillor Bernier.
Moved by Councillor Charlevoix, seconded by Councillor Bernier, that council adopt the asset management plan and set and measure the level of service contained in the asset management plan for July 1st, 2024 filing as required by Ontario Regulation 58817.
You have any comments, questions?
A lot of hard work has gone into this document, obviously by staff, so good stuff, good guy, good work, people.
Thank you, staff. All in favor? Great, thank you. Number 4, digested biosolids dewatering trench construction. Mover and seconder, please. Councilor Bernier and Councilor Shalawal.
Moved by Councillor Bernier, seconded by Councillor Charlebois, that staff be authorized to accept a submission from John Willard and Sons Construction for the digested biosolids dewatering trench construction as per the tender documents for the project cost of $97,061.12, and is further directed to enter into the associated agreement with John Willard and Sons Construction.
All in favor?
Can I, one quick question,
Sure.
just does that mean that there was only one submission for this? Yeah, there's not like who second, third, or nothing like that on bidding?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Yes, there's just one proponent that put in a bid.
Thank you.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, next we have a in-kind donation request for All Porter Lanes Earl Slow Pitch Tournament. Mover and seconder, please. Councilor Bernier, Councilor Lafave.
Moved by Councillor Bernier, seconded by Councillor Lefebvre, that council approves an in-kind donation towards the Earl Porter Lanes Adult Mixed Flow Pitch Tournament in the amount of $424.75 for baseball field rental fees.
Yes. Councilor Bernier.
Thank you, Councilor Rumbat. So I just wanted to make quick notes before we proceed in this. I think it's a very slam dunk, in my opinion, on what we should do here, but just a little back history on this. So I started this baseball tournament, this will be the 11th year that it happens. Used to kind of run on my own back when Steve was here as a rec director 11 years ago. Well, it would actually be 13 years ago now because we stalled for COVID a couple of years. And the rec department helped us along the way with, facilitating this a little bit way back in the day. The tournament's now at a point where I no longer want to run it independently, and we've now handed it over to the bowling alley, Earl Porter Lanes, to put on the event as a fundraiser for them. Because of where the tournament is now, we have perennial teams who come and the economic spin-off for the town, for the restaurants around, for Earl Porter Lanes now being able to put this on as a fundraiser, but they'll actually be facilitating everything right out of the bowling alley. And for me, this isn't just an in-kind donation from any random, ask here. To me, this is somebody who's actually utilizing one of our buildings and who is putting money back into that building to continue to enhance the services they're offered so that we can have services in our community. And this money that they're asking for an in-kind donation of is essentially the cost of what the field is for the rental of the weekend, which otherwise probably wouldn't be used that weekend anyways. And in my opinion, we're gonna put an in-kind donation of that amount just for them to flip it back into their building and continue to enhance the service that they're bringing to our communities. A no-brainer on in my opinion, at the very least.
Thank you, Councilor Bernier, for your efforts all these years, and we all know All Porter Lanes has been doing great for the community, driving lots of traffic. So thank you, All Porter Lanes. All in favor? We want to next bylaw. 8, bylaw number 3793/24. Move and second, please, Councilor Trombley.
Moved by Councillor Tremblay, seconded by Councillor Charlebois, that bylaw number 3793/24, being a bylaw to amend bylaw number 3710/23, the Town of Iroquois Falls zoning bylaw to provide for a zoning change from commercial general to residential urban second density be read a first, second, and third time, and finally pass this 24th day of June, 2024.
All in favor? Next, bylaw number 3794/24. Councillor Trombley, Councillor Bernier,
Moved by Councillor Tremblay, seconded by Councillor, pardon?
Councillor LaFave.
Seconded by Councillor LaFave. That bylaw number 3794/24, being a bylaw to amend bylaw number 3710/23, the Town of Urquhart Falls zoning bylaw, to provide for a zoning change from rural to rural residential, be read a first, second, and third time, and finally pass this 24th day of June, 2024.
Yes,
Just to know if anybody on staff has any concerns on this passing. I know bylaw's not here right now, but do we have any notes or anything that would indicate not to proceed with this before we do?
We followed up with our bylaw officer. He has no concerns.
Perfect, thank you.
all in favor?
Just one further comment, if I could, Council Brambat, it's nice to see that people are actually considering Iroquois Falls to be building new homes. So it's good for the community, and it's welcome to town, for those who are coming from out of town.
Perfect, thank you. See bylaw number 3795/24. Move and second, Councillor LaFave, Councillor Chair.
Moved by Councillor LaFave, seconded by Councillor Jiguer, that bylaw number 3795/24, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement between John Willard and Sons Construction and the Corporation of the Town of Urquhart Falls for the digested biosolids dewatering trench construction, be read a first, second, and third time, and finally pass this 24th day of June, 2024.
Any questions? All in favor? New businesses, correspondence. A and B, can we have a mover and seconder, please? Councillor LaFave, Councillor Bernier.
Moved by Councillor LaFave, seconded by Councillor Bernier, that the following is received as correspondence. Cochrane District Local Citizens Committee meeting minutes, January 11th, 2024. Cochrane District Local Citizens Committee Historical Forestry Article, Spring 2024, and the Fish Stocking List 2024.
All in favor? You. We have a councillor reports. Can we start, Councillor Shalwa?
Thank you, Acting Mayor Brumbaugh. Please have met with all members of senior management the past 6 weeks or so in my capacity of administration liaison. I want to thank all the staff with whom I met for their time, their earnest consideration, their honesty, openness, and so on. I do appreciate your time, and of course, my door is always open as well. Thank you. Oh, go Oilers.
Thanks, Councillor Jiguer.
Thank you, Mayor Brumbaugh. I've attended all my regular meetings. The only one I missed was the subcommittee I'm part of, the LCC. I was unable to attend the last one of that. As well, I did have a brief discussion with the director of recreation the other day, and starting to just look at maybe some ideas in the future and where do we actually need to maybe spend a little bit of capital in some of our existing establishments here to ensure that we can have some fun for years to come with our rec center. And I hear people in the community. I know we're down to one outdoor rink here in town, and it has seen some better days. And I know we have to start looking at some options there to make sure that our youth have a place to go after school hours and in the summer. The other concern that's been brought to my attention is in our public parks. Apparently, we're starting to have more and more, I'll say, older kids, maybe pre-teens and teenagers that are starting to occupy all of the slides and some of the areas that are really designated for younger children, 3 and 4 years old, 7 and 8 years old. So looking at getting in touch with staff to see what kind of direction we can take to make sure that everyone can utilize the facilities as they were intended.
Thank you. So, hi.
Went to my regular board meetings, a mixed group of health services, the library board, garden town committee. Met with a number of residents over the month. One particular issue that I'd like council to be aware of is that the contractors out at Nelly Lake who've been working at retrenching out there pulled out, and the water level has not yet gone down to the level that they even said that they would get it down to with the retrenching. It's about almost 8 inches higher than what their target was. Which again was a problem because I don't think that's low enough already. So I think that the ministry is going to run into some major problems here. And I think the town also has to, maybe be a little bit more on top of this. I don't know where that's at, quite frankly, but I believe that a lot of our residents are being affected by the high water level that remains out there. I've also continued to meet, especially with the Garden Town issues, in trying to recruit more people. It's been a difficult task, but it's nice that we've got this young lady who's got a lot of energy and a lot of good ideas on board. Hopefully we can continue to recruit. As a matter of fact, there was a young fellow walking around town with his mother this afternoon, and I said, "Hey, anytime you guys want to help out," and she turned around and sent her son back and said, "You can volunteer." So looks like found myself another one today. But it's good it's been really good working with Steve Belanger and Steve Bullock in terms of trying to clean up the town as best we can. It's an ongoing issue and we just don't have enough bodies. So if there's anybody out there that wants to volunteer, if you know anybody that wants to volunteer, please send them our way and we'll put them to work. It'd be really nice if we can get people to actually take over, like a group of people that would say, well, we'll take over this one garden, as opposed to leaving it up to a small crew of individuals like we are now. There's only 4 or 5 of us, I guess, on the committee, and we don't have enough bodies. So if anybody out there is willing, please come forward. That was it. I guess the only other thing I would say, I can repeat what Councillor Charbonneau says: go Oilers, go. We got to win that one tonight.
Good, thank you.
May 27th, regular meeting, June 3rd, events committee meeting, and my other meetings were canceled.
Good. So for my reports, I attended all my meetings, board meetings, and that's it. Go Oilers.
Thank you, Councilor Brumbath. For myself, a lot of my focus and time has been continuing on the events committee. We had a wrap-up meeting a few weeks ago in regards to the sports and trade show. It was, as we suspected, a very big success. Not only for a financial standpoint for what was brought back to the events committee to be able to put on more events, but as well as great successful feedback from all businesses who attended, who provided feedback. It was all very positive. And at our last meeting as well, just to put a little tease into the community's ear, without having the final logistics, it was voted on that we are going to be moving forward with a unofficially named a homecoming festival on the weekend of Saturday, the 7th of September, which is also the weekend that Midway will be in town. So we're gonna have a lot of local bands. We're trying to bring back people to the community who are originally from Eric Falls, who played music when they were in Eric Falls. Some really cool names, which I can't really release yet, but on some bands that used to be pretty big in Eric Falls who have decided to come back to Eric Falls for that one. So it's gonna be a pretty cool event, and like I say, stay tuned for a release of more information on that. But we're gonna utilize the weekend that the Midway is in town, and we have, you know, more attractions of people from outside of town to kind of make it one big festival on that weekend. So I'm very excited about that. And as I spoke about previously, in one of our resolutions, on the weekend of July 5th, Earl Port Lanes will be hosting an adult 3-pitch tournament. You know, they're gonna have everything from the area around the field licensed, as people come and watch the baseball, have a refreshment. There's 12 confirmed teams, which brings 120, minimum of 120 people to our community that weekend. So it's gonna be a really fun weekend, and encourage people to come out and support it. They're gonna have food, you know, on site, hot dogs, burgers all weekend, stuff like that as well. So just another big event coming here at Falls, and all brought to you by, like I said, Earl Port Lanes, who's gonna be doing this to collect funds for what they've got going on over there. So please come on out and check that out.
Thank you. For closed sessions, we have no business arising from closed session. Closed session also no. Adjournment. Would like to. For minute.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. 6:56 PM. Is that right?
Yes, need a mover in a second.
Councilor Bernier, Councilor Jiguer.
Moved by Counselor Bernier, seconded by Counselor Jiguer, that this meeting adjourns at 6:56 PM.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.